yes, guys, welcome to the Chelsea versus Manchester City 1-1 live match reaction. It's your host, Matt, back because Sadiq is out of country, but still here, most importantly, with whatever Wi-Fi signal he has. Yeah, guys, Chelsea just can't get a win for love, more money. Why can't we get luck? Why does luck not go our way? Please, one time, just one time. Anyway, enough of that. I will introduce you guys to Sindra and, of course, the main man, Sadiq. Guys, how are you feeling?
Well, to be honest, relief that the game is now over. Of course, it sucks that we drew the game in the 83rd minute that got that equalizer. Poch, in my opinion, got the tactics completely spot on. Like, it was a brilliant game. From us. So, of course, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's Manchester City we're playing against, and two good games against them this season. So yeah, I'm relieved that we got at least a point from it. Sucks that we didn't get two more, but we played for a 1-0 game, and you know how City will be in a 1-0 game. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can echo that as well. I think before the game, a lot of people probably doubted Chelsea. I told Furrows if we don't win or draw, I'll pay him £25 to £50. And look, we drew at least. Should have won. Well, to be fair, City had a few chances, but Chelsea also had a few chances as well, which I felt
they had chances. They had chances, but they didn't deserve to win the game. They weren't chances that there wasn't nothing that City missed that was just glaring. It was more. It was more
the hardest chance.
Sassy being an absolute fucking god.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened. No Thiago Silva.
I told you, Rudiger regen.
What were you saying about Thiago Silva, guys?
Well,
what is there to say about Thiago Silva?
Does he come back in? Does he stay out?
At the moment, probably not.
Yeah.
But Silva plays when Silva plays. It's not. Yeah. Silva is. I don't get this whole kind of Silva. Oh my God, he's declining. Oh my God, a 40-year-old declining. No shit.
No shit.
Sky is blue, grass is green.
Yeah. To be fair, it looks like now that this, from what the people in the studio here in Norway said about Thiago Silva and stuff, that the stats for us look better without him this season. And to be fair, I think the game would have been a lot different if he was there today, because Colwell and Disasi played a brilliant game. We could see Colwell and both of them just having so much energy and so much passion about everything. Disasi being a god in the air, and I've never seen a Manchester City team cross that so much that when they have Haaland, of course. But in my opinion, Haaland isn't the greatest player with the head. I've seen it for Norway, and I've seen it for City. Of course, he can score with his head or jump really high and score with his feet, but he isn't the best with the head. He isn't the greatest header of the ball. So I don't understand why they're trying to cross it so much.
Well, the reason they were trying to cross was because Enzo and Caicedo were completely closing up the midfield space in the middle, so they couldn't get through the middle. So
yeah.
They were resulting to switching it side to side, doing a Chelsea effectively and trying to go from the wide.
Yeah.
I disagree a little. I agree with Disasi being a beast, but I disagree a little bit with Cole, just because I don't think Cole dealt with Haaland very well in the air. I think the chances City got, especially in the first half, were from Haaland's heading. Obviously, it weren't the best headers, but on other days, Haaland could have scored them headers. I think.
Yeah, of course.
Every time Haaland was getting in the box, it was, where is Colwell? Because I don't want to be on Disasi, because Disasi was much more capable of everything, whether it was shots, headers, whatever. Unfortunately, it was Chalobah in front of the goal in the end, rather than Disasi, because I think Disasi would have probably blocked it more better. But it is what it is.
Guys, I don't know if you don't watch Angry Rant, man. I know how he feels, man. With the fan in the background. But listen, it's good to see KJ on. I mean, it's a surprise. Sterling scores, and suddenly he joins.
It's faith.
Hey, Sterling has scored multiple times, but I've been in the shadows. But you know what? I gotta give flowers to my boy. Raheem Sterling, Ross Clark Sterling. Before we do that, what's up, gents? How you guys doing?
Just a shame he didn't get the first one.
Just a shame he didn't get the first one. Just a shame that Jackson's ball didn't reach him for the third one. But you know what? It is what it is. He did his job. I thought he was the most influential attacker we had on the field apart from Jackson.
I mean, there wasn't really many other attackers on the pitch, because I wouldn't class Gallagher as an attacker, and Palmer was a bit quiet, to be fair.
Well, I think Palmer just went about his game and he did the necessary things. He set up Jackson for the goal. He put the pass into him, and I think Sterling couldn't control the ball for a big chance. But if he would have put it in, there would have been looked at for an offside. I think it was just about an offside.
That's true. I did think it was just offside.
But
anyway.
he was also lucky because he could have given away a penalty when he put his foot into Kyle Walker's ankle.
No. He put his leg out. He put his leg out.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Such a dive. Like the way Kyle Walker just almost did a freaking front flip after, like
back. Yeah.
Like, mate, stop it. Just, the first dive was bad enough. The second one's even worse.
Diving on that diver.
But what do you guys make of Gusto, man? He's impressing me a lot every game.
Sensational.
Yeah. He impressed me. I was a little bit annoyed with that Jackson chance that the ball was just behind Jackson. I mean, everyone is slagging off Jackson, but anyone that's actually played football knows that if you get a ball behind you like that, you're not going to be able to control it well enough. And Edison was out. Simple as that. And if Gusto's ball was just a tiny bit better, that would.
Or I think the best thing, of course, it would have been played first time like Jackson did to Sterling. But of course, it's a decision, and he felt like taking a touch. He took a touch, and when you are as quick as Jackson is, because Jackson isn't a slow player, it's a reason why we played on the counterattack with him and Sterling as the two counterattacking players. It's just that when he's coming at that speed and the ball is behind you, you can't adapt and change your body to get the ball that is behind you. So, and Jackson was good today. He linked the play up, was a focal point in our attack, and I
really don't understand some of the Jackson criticism. In the fact, obviously, I get that he misses a few chances. That is fine, but how many strikers over the years have done that? Including our best strikers that have played at Chelsea have missed chances. But it's the overall. It's what everyone thought Havertz was in terms of the overall link-up play and the stuff he does outside. Actually, he does it and does it quite well, and especially coming out on the wide, comes in. He's another option that you can play if you want to play in Cuckoo or potentially a Victor Osimhen, Ivan Toney, whoever's going to be here in the summer. He's a great option to have versatile across the front three, really, because you probably could put him on the right if you really wanted to. And he actually does put in the effort, not just willy-nilly, but when needed. He chooses his points, and I think he's very smart in that link-up play. I think I remember when we had Tammy Abraham, who used to score quite a lot of goals. My God, his link-up play was just dead at times. But Jackson has got that link-up play, and if he can just be a bit more killer instincts, then you've got a fantastic striker for what is a ridiculously small fee in these days.
Sorry, KJ, you can speak.
Oh, sorry, man. I was just going to say, I think this game, more than anything, has proved that Jackson isn't a natural attacker. He's great on the wings. I think he's a great option when it comes to playmaking, but I don't think his strongest suit is being a natural attacker. I don't think you can teach that to a player like him. I don't think you can teach that to any player, to be honest. And
Of course, Matt.
we say he's indecisive and stuff like that, but I think that's just a natural drawback to his game. I don't think he has the potential to be someone that can be clinical. But when it comes on playmaking and setting up space and being pivotal in the transition, like, he's amazing at that, and he's so quick at doing it as well. But I don't think he's a natural attacker or striker. That's just my take from it, based on this game.
Yeah, look, a couple of weeks ago, I think I told Matt, like, I see him on the left side coming towards like the second striker, like a someone that can link up with the guy in the middle. That's what I feel like he can do personally.
Even if you had him up front and had him feeding off Nkuku and having Nkuku close and they feed off each other, that would work. Obviously, him directly on his own as a, like, almost
Haaland
hold up, it's not going to work. Of course, he's different. He's not that type of striker. And that's why I think you will see a Oshiman, potentially a Tony. I don't want to see Gokares or whatever his name is, or Sesko, because they're not good enough for what we need at the moment. It needs to be the first two or bust.
The big striker.
No, God, I hate it that people keep bringing up his name.
Mbappe.
Stop it! It's just the genders. It's just the genders from people. But there you go. But I tell you what, if we play like that against Liverpool, I think we win the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the fight. That is the fight I've been missing from Chelsea for a while.
And also, from someone who watched the Liverpool game today, they had 2 injuries in the first half. Both Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota came off, and during the break, Darwin Núñez came off. So I don't know what that tells.
Alisson is injured as well.
I love how in the media it was you had Alisson and Alexander Arnold got injured, and then it was suddenly Liverpool injury nightmare. I'm like, please shut up. Like, please, we've still got 8 injuries on the fucking injury list. The day we get down to like 5 or 6 injuries is a celebration for me, because I don't think I've ever seen. I can't remember the last time it said less than 5 injuries.
And I have had some chat with some Newcastle fans, because if you don't know, there's a famous content creator that is complaining so much and using the excuse about injuries and stuff like that. Yes, Newcastle have the longest, like the longest days with injuries during the season, but I don't think that was from the start, and I don't think that includes players that was injured before the start of the season. So don't forget, we had both Wesley Fofana and Christopher Nkunku injured before the first game of the season. So if it's data from injuries after the first game, those 2 doesn't count. And if they do, I think Chelsea will have the longest days with players missing from matchday squads, if we count with Nkunku and Fofana, because I don't know when they have looked at his metrics and collected the data from it. But yeah, we are struggling with injuries. A lot of teams are struggling with injuries. We look at Liverpool now, Chelsea now. Yeah, there's a reason why we had like 3 players recalled in the winter. Casadei, of course, being the one that stayed, but we have Santos now back on loan, and
obviously I need to head out in a few minutes. I just want to say very quickly, I tweeted earlier as well that I saw something from Poch, especially in the first 60 minutes, a bit of, on the touchline, passion. No, seriously, he was there, bro.
I love this thing. Is it Poch in, Poch out, shake it all about?
No, listen, the thing is, I can still be positive about his performance for the game. The sub just killed it, though.
I don't think the sub killed it. I will
Bro, how can you bring on Casadei, though? Come on.
I agree. Casadei was the one that I found a bit about weird. I can understand it in the way of.
I was cool with Chalobah. I didn't say anything.
Good to see him back.
Good to see you back. But Casadei, I think the reason he brought him on was because obviously Man City were, again, as Sindre said, reverting to crosses every 5 minutes, and I think it was that extra height in the midfield that he wanted to bring on. I don't know whether I necessarily agree with who he took off, but it is what I don't disagree with. I think there's this myth that's currently going on Twitter at the moment that as soon as we made the subs, the game changed. It's actually false because the game was like that 5 or 10 minutes before. It was just a reaction to how the game was in the first place to try and solidify it. Was it 5 or 10 minutes too early? Potentially, but if you didn't make them subs and we conceded in that 5 or 10 minutes, people would have gone, oh, why haven't we brought on Chalobah? Why haven't we gone to a back three to solidify it? I think it's a lot of revolutionism. It's kind of the exact example is Tuchel did similar type of tactics in the Champions League final. The only difference is one managed to hold off, one didn't. The same tactics, the same way. It's just people are just flip-flopping because of the result.
Matt is always right, guys. Matt is always right, guys. I'm gonna end it there for myself. Like the video, people. Big up everyone tuning in. Big up KJ, Sindre, Matt. Thanks for hosting this. I appreciate it. And hopefully I can join for the Liverpool final, man. But I'll catch you guys soon. I need to sleep.
Take care. Enjoy the vacation and sleep well.
Take care, bro.
Take
Cheers,
care,
buddy.
Take care.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you there, Matt, because of course we were leading, and what is the best thing to do then? It should be to try and solidify the game, bring on a defender. Good of course to see Chalobah back. First game of the season for him, has been struggling with injuries, so it's good for him to get some game time. Hopefully he doesn't get injured again. But yeah, I felt like Poch managed the game the best as he could with the circumstances. Don't forget, I think we had from looking at the bench, we had Gilchrist and Samuel Smith. We had Guy and Harrison. We had 3 players.
Ollie Harrison's 16, by the way, so no way was he actually going to get on the pitch.
Yeah, especially against Manchester City. Yeah, but still, the one thing maybe I could have wished for would have maybe just in the end put on a Mudryk or something just to see if we could have they were of course pushing on. If we could have just hoof it long and then had someone just to run after the ball.
The only argument I'd make, and this is the same with kind of Madueke, is they're not exactly the best in terms of tracking back defensively. And I think if God help us if he put on Mudryk and then we went 2-1 down and Mudryk was the person that didn't track a runner or whatever, and everyone would have gone, oh, why has he put Mudryk on, blah, blah, blah. I can understand why he hasn't necessarily put them on. And I think for me, as much as it's painful to not win, I'd rather actually just go for the point, because I think even the point still puts us in a good stead in terms of we have just drawn against the best team in the world.
Twice.
And actually, twice. We're unbeaten against Manchester City this season, and hopefully we don't get them in the FA Cup and we can keep that.
And Haaland has only scored once against Chelsea in total, and that was a penalty because we were the only team from his debut season last year which he didn't score against. He scored against 19.
He hasn't scored against Brentford.
Yeah, yes, he has. I swear he has.
They said it on Sky that he's the only team that he hasn't scored against. Or that might be this season. I don't know, but I think they said Brentford he hasn't scored against them.
Yeah, but I swear that
maybe he has. Maybe that's Sky Sports just chatting rubbish, but
no, because I think because he didn't score against us last year. I remember that because we went 2 games. Well, we were the only 2 games he didn't score last year. I think about it. I can of course be wrong, but I think it was that.
Do you know what's funny? I'm reading for all these big YouTubers that want chat a lot of stuff before the game, saying they're going to lose 3-0, 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 3-1. Why are they not talking now? Why are they not on Twitter now? Why are they being so negative about our team? And then as soon as we've got a positive, they're not on. They're not on.
Yeah,
Come
that's
on, guys.
that.
Do
That's true.
better. I mean, you've probably got Mineral still just talking about Mason Mount because that's all he does.
Yeah.
But,
No. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he didn't score. He didn't score against Brentford either. I think he didn't score against. He didn't score against Chelsea, Brentford, and Liverpool because he was injured for one of them, and then just didn't score against them last year. So yeah, I swear it was like stat that he had only that he scored against 19 of 20 teams last year.
But even then, he's only scored a penalty against Chelsea, and even then, he couldn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that. Yeah, how many chances did he have today? And he couldn't.
A lot. Yeah.
Now imagine if that Erling Haaland was on our side, the amount of slander he would get.
Yeah, and to be fair, do you think the Chilwell one, similar to the Cucurella one, should have been a penalty?
I didn't think the Cucurella one should have been a penalty in the first place.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I completely
it just
agree.
proves how ridiculous that penalty was, and the fact that they make it up as they go along. I mean,
Yeah,
Haaland can't expect, and Haaland does this a lot actually. And this is the one thing that a bit pisses me off of his game is Haaland will drag a player and ragdoll him, which so I would argue is good strength, but in this modern day, it's a foul. But then as soon as he gets a little tug, he goes down.
yeah,
Fair enough, you're trying to win a penalty, but you've done exactly the same thing first. In chronological order of the offence, it should just be a free kick the other way. But of course, it seems to most of the time go the attacker's way. So
yeah,
I'm thankful that the referee I think the referee today was
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
VAR stayed quiet, which was nice. I was a bit worried with that final penalty that they were going to do something stupid, but they didn't. They stayed quiet.
It hit his chest first, and then it bounced on from the Ruben Diaz, and then onto his arm. So I don't
even like the Caicedo one. I think the referee did really well to look at that and just not bite, because I don't know whether the stuff you were watching on was Sky was constantly going, "Oh, Caicedo should have been sent off for that." It's like, no, he's literally kicked the ball away, and Akanji is just there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a violent tackle, and I'm like, oh my god.
Caicedo has, to be honest, in my opinion, gone really under the radar this season. I think people are, of course, because of the transfer fee, people are expecting much, but he's doing what we bought him to do. He is there to do the interceptions, defending, and when we have struggled, to be honest, that's also because a little bit of what Poch wants from Enzo, because to be honest, Caicedo has been stranded a little bit he has been a little bit isolated and on his own in the middle of the field, and it's hard to do a two-man job with one person.
Four times Sky mentioned Caicedo's price tag just today. And by the way, the only two players that they praised from Chelsea before the game started, just before the game, was Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer. No agenda there at all, is there?
Yeah, a little bit of English bias.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, I hope they did the right thing today and give Disasi man the match, because for me, I don't think anyone else deserves it apart from him.
He was brilliant. He was winning every single.
This is where I'll come back from the beginning of the season. I don't understand the Disasi hate.
Yeah, same.
Disasi has been so solid this entire time. It's just, I think, all borderline ludicrous at times. Disasi has been, arguably, I think, our best defender this season in terms of centre back. People went on about how good Levi Colwill was going to be. Levi Colwill struggled. Badiashile, I like Badiashile, but I think he's had a bit of a tough season. Thiago Silva's regressed, as we discussed before. Disasi has been that consistent guy. I think for me, in the back four, he's one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah, there's a reason I think he's played every single game this season. Almost. Yeah, I remember when we have played Badiashile and Thiago Silva, that hasn't gone very well. And I think Disasi has been our best defender this season in general. like Gusto impresses a lot down the right. He has, of course, been injured. So Disasi has played 2 positions in defense for us. He has deputized at right back and played well. I don't think he has really struggled at right back either. Sometimes maybe, and that's why he's been scapegoated. But he has overall been a constant figure in our back line. He is, I think, a brilliant guy because look how much it means to him. He got a yellow card last game for crowd surfing. He was 5 rows into the stands.
I think I watched that video at least 30, 40 times.
Like, how long is it we have seen a player do that and take a yellow card for it and still go into challenges and don't be afraid to do his job? Like, of course, comical Nico Jackson. Of course, another one I like the energy of and his attitude and like the passion he has, because he, don't forget, last game against Palace, he ran from the bench to celebrate with the players. Of course, it annoys me because that's his 9th yellow card this season. One more and he's suspended for 2 games. Would that have counted for domestic as well, like the cup, the suspension, or is it just for league?
I think it would affect the cup as well.
Yeah, so luckily he didn't get a yellow card today, because I think if we're gonna play Liverpool, we need Nico Jackson in the team.
Nico Jackson is definitely needed.
Yeah.
I just realised I'm not seeing the comments on StreamYard. I don't know why. So I've just got the YouTube open, but I don't know why. So yeah. I'll quickly go through the comments. Obviously, Sadiq is being an absolute fraud. I don't know why I don't know why he's referring to dead players that are not at Chelsea anymore. But there you go. So big up to people in the comments. Obviously, Miss Molina, Arsenal on fire at the moment. But hopefully, when we go face them, we can teach them a lesson like we just taught City a lesson. Big up James Hamilton. Disasi play like John Terry in his prime. City goal was unlucky. Agreed. I don't know how many deflected goals we're going to get this season. It's actually honestly ridiculous. In important moments, important games. People say you got to make your own luck, and I do agree to a point, but it's just getting frustrating now. Like something just please go our way. And I feel like that will come to the final. I feel all the unluckiness we've had this season, it will just come together at one point. Big up Josh, as usual. Gusto was absolutely amazing. As disappointing as it feels, great point. Agree. Big up to Varna. Chatting a little bit of rubbish as usual, but big up to Varna and big up to Gabrielle and everyone else in the comment section. Please make sure you smash the like button. Jot your comments down, and me and Sindra will go through them as much as we can. And of course, make sure you share and subscribe as well. Sindra, anything specifically you wanted to go through?
Well, to be honest, I think this, in my opinion, shows a bit of the quality, of course, of Pochettino. Of course, people have been roller coasting about the emotion of course, losing a lot, drawing, winning. It mixed emotions, and people, of course, are getting tired of losing. But I feel like there is still quality in what Pochettino does, and I think, of course, we have now been in 8 months with him. He has still said that we are expecting, or I don't remember how specifically he said it, but of course we shouldn't have like fell in love with him and stuff like that because of what he does after just 8 months. So I think he's just doing a brilliant job at the moment, especially in the big games. Of course, yes, we lost 4-1 to Liverpool, but that's a Liverpool team like in good form. And of course, Poch got it wrong that game. Sometimes you just get it wrong 2 games in a row. And of course, Wolverhampton one was painful because I think did we lose twice to them this season? I swear we did on Christmas Eve or on Christmas Day for me.
Yeah, we've lost twice.
Yeah, It sucks. Of course, Matthias Cunha now injured for the rest of the season. Just typical after the Chelsea game. He gets injured. Yeah, I think Poch has been good. Of course, we are already doing better than we did last season. No shock in that. We already have more points. Of course, the table is a little different, so we are still we are 10th in the table. We already scored more goals than we did for the entire last season, which is brilliant because we need to score more goals. Yeah, well, Brighton can move away from us. We have 1 point away from West Ham, 2 points away from Newcastle, 6 points away from United. Of course, it can become 9 points away from United if they win. We have they play. I think they play tomorrow. So yeah, I still think Poch needs more time. Of course, he needs to get used to the players he has, and to be fair, he hasn't had a full 11 where he can just play every single player in week out, like Conte did, for example, when we won the league in 16-17. We almost played same entire 11 for the entire season because we didn't have Champions League football or European football. But Poch can't do that because we have so many recurring injuries. It sucks, but I still think if we can now just keep everyone fit and get the players that are now injured back and keep them fit, I still think we can see a new team next season if we still keep Pochettino. I think in my opinion, it would be harsh to sack Pochettino in the summer. Still too early to say, but if we win the League Cup and get far into the FA Cup, I still think Poch could stay and see what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see the sense of sacking him before the end of the season. 110, 120% makes. I feel like if we sack him now, you're going to get Frank Lampard, John Terry, whoever, ex-player, Thiago Silva, player manager type stuff. It'll be ridiculous. So let's just keep Poch to the end of the season at least. If there's a manager that becomes available that this board desperately want, and when I stress this has to be the long-term option, it has to be because we can't keep doing what we're doing.
True.
Then I would maybe accept it. I would still. I think if he wins a cup, and we get some sort of European football, for me that was the criteria at the beginning of the season. So I would be happy to keep him in the squad, in the team. Happy to keep him in and go again next season. But I know people are going to disagree with that because people are reactionary. People just think the short term, and they think they have the best. They think they have Chelsea's best interests in mind, but in reality, it's not completely true. It's just they have their YouTube channels in mind and their viewership. But there you go. It's just me ranting because I now do not watch YouTubers apart from this channel and one or two others.
And also, he didn't do that well with Tottenham the first season as well. So it can be some of the same thing. I don't think he did so well with PSG as well, but PSG is a little bit different. But you can also look at Pep. Pep didn't do that well in his first season at City. And of course, Klopp is completely different because Klopp had a horrific team in the beginning of his Liverpool career.
I'd argue our team. It's not horrific in terms of there is quality in there, but it is such a young team, and a young team, no matter what manager you have, is going to be inconsistent. The fact that this team is inconsistent does not surprise me because it is so young. Is that at the fault of the way we've bought players? Potentially, although as I have stated, and I do someday want to do a kind of get Sadiq to do a video on this. If you look at how everyone else bought, Manchester United, City, Arsenal, you actually look and they've bought a lot of younger players as well. Tottenham, everyone has gone young, and that is because anyone over the age of 27, 28 were looking at one particular league that was offering about £1 million a year, week of players, Saudi Pro League. So I think everyone has had to go a bit younger in terms of players. I mean, Man City bought Doku, right? They bought Kovacic from us, but they bought Doku, very young player. They bought who's the Croatian centre back?
Oh, Guardiol.
Guardiol. I don't know. He doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, I don't know.
Injured.
Is he injured? But he hasn't done anything this season. Again, young player. Arsenal, Declan Rice, young player. Kai Havertz, still very young. Timber, young. Manchester United, Rasmus Højlund, young. Basically the same as Nico Jackson.
Just more expensive.
Yeah, except double the price. Who else? Well, Mason Mount, still relatively young, under 25. Tottenham, Udogie, young. Madison. Madison is 20. I love it how people go, oh my God, we didn't get Madison. Oh, we didn't get experienced Madison. He's literally 25, 26. It's not that much experience. But the point is, most people have bought kind of young anyway. And I think
Van der Ven also as well, young centre back as well.
I think the problem is, I keep saying this to people, if you were to buy more experienced players, they would have cost a lot more than we bought with some of these players. Now, take out Enzo and Caicedo, they were different situations that we kind of did have to overpay for. But you're looking at more experienced players, and they're going to cost you at least 60, 70 million a piece. So we've had to buy it smartly, and maybe some of these people, Casadei, Santos, Mugachukwu, Amari Hutchinson, who's doing quite well at Ipswich.
Fofana.
He was a free, but Fofana as well. Maybe they are players that you are going to turn profits on for later. And sometimes you do at the moment with the way Chelsea are in terms of, we're not commercially at full peak at the moment, partially because of the results, but also because it wasn't at a peak under Roman. We have not got a big stadium, so match day revenue is down. Unfortunately, and because of these things, we do have to make up in things such as player sales. And how do you keep that going? And that is by buying players that you will eventually start to flip. It's something you don't want to hear, but it is what it is. And until we until we get a Tottenham level stadium, at least, this isn't going to change. Until we get revenue, hopefully, if we can get into European football, and if we get the Jordan sponsorship along with the Riyadh Airway front of sponsor logo, that is the money we need to then go carry on and actually become a big club and get your Oshimans and get more people in.
And also to add to that, there's also one thing that's different from what other teams, Chelsea and other teams, is that we sold most of our experienced players, and they, of course, are still keeping their experienced players and then adding new younger talents, like Liverpool adding new younger talents and still having their most influential players from when they won the Champions League, when they won the league title. Same with Arsenal, have some experienced players. Of course, Scott Jorginho from us, experienced player. United as well have a lot of experienced players. Like, I think out of the teams at the moment, I think we have the kind of least experienced team out of the top six, in terms of also age and the playtime of our team. Of course, Thiago Silva, really experienced. Chilwell, experienced but injury prone. Reece James becoming one of our most experienced players now,
but injury prone.
Yeah, injury prone.
I mean, you arguably look, our two most experienced players will probably leave us in the summer.
Thiago Silva and
Sterling.
Yeah,
I think Sterling will go. I think Sterling will go. Hopefully, we can turn some sort of, at least on the books, profit. and then I think they'll go for a more. I think they still will go for an experienced option because you can't have a team of under 25s. That is borderline ridiculous.
That's true. We
I
still
mean,
have the young.
I mean, I've kind of listed who I would like. I mean, for me, Osherman, I know he's not the oldest, but has at least game-wise played a lot of football and would fix a lot of problems up front. I would go for Mario Hermano, Atletico Madrid, on a free transfer in the summer.
Hermoso.
Yeah, Hermoso, sorry. Free transfer, experienced, solid option that doesn't necessarily need to play every minute, but will provide us some good experience. Out wide, I would look for someone like Leroy Sané. Again, experienced option, played in the Premier League before, not happy at Bayern, could look to move back to the Premier League where he was a bit more happy with his game time, happy with his playing, and I think would be a good option, and almost be what Sterling should have been when he come in. And then I think if we have enough money, I would get rid of Conor Gallagher, get some money into him, and go for Onana from Everton to add it'll be for him a lot more height in midfield. But that character that we are already missing in that midfield, and I think that would complete the midfield. We wouldn't have to touch it again.
Yeah, but would you then move Enzo further forward, or should we then go to more of a flat midfield three with like Fofana and Caicedo moving deeper and Enzo playing?
I don't think Onana would necessarily start every game.
Yeah,
I think he would be your especially if you're going into Europe, your more squad option plays in certain games, like the more physical, the Everton games, the Wolves games, where you need a bit more of a physical midfielder in there. I don't think he necessarily starts every game, but I don't think we would necessarily expect that coming from a team like Everton who are fighting relegation.
But what do we then do about if we are going to stick to a 4-2-3-1? Who is then going to be that offensive midfielder? Would we maybe play Kunku there?
So if all my transfers do happen, which is a dream world, it would be Petrovic in goal, back four of Chilwell, Badiashile, Disasi, Gusto, or James, depending on. I don't know what's happening with James, so I'm going to leave him as a question mark at the moment. Enzo, Caicedo, and Cuckoo, Palmer on the right, Sane on the left, and Osherman up top. Possibly a Jackson in on the left-hand side as well. Onana or Lavia can come in for certain games. Carney can come in, deputise for Nkuku. Of course, Moso, Colwell can be backup centre-backs. I would probably try and bring a left-back in as well. I think that's the one I forgot. I feel like we won't, if we get the left-back, we probably won't get the left winger, and I think they'll just stick with what we've got. If we're getting a left back in, Robinson from Fulham, perfect backup option, I think, for us, as long as he's
and move on the likes of Chalaba, Cucurella, Gallagher.
Chalaba, Cucurella, Gallagher, Sterling, Malang Sarr eventually. God's sake. Arguably, I'd potentially look at flipping. I mean, it would be harsh because I think he has done well at Ipswich, but I think of a certain price coming for Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah,
I think bearing in mind we got him for nothing, so anything we do make on him is pure profit. If say Ipswich did get promoted and Ipswich came in and bidded 25-30 million, it probably won't happen, but say someone did, I would be happy to accept that and then use that for the rest of the squad. Again, that's pure profit, and a perfect example of what this ownership is trying to do to be a bit more sustainable.
That's true. When we talked about stadium, we also have problems
because I forgot Broja to sell as well.
Yeah, and bro, we also and we need, in my opinion, we need a new not a new stadium, but we need to expand it. But it's hard to expand it because we can't build upwards because of the view. I saw a video about this, the view from I think to a chapel.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that there's a thing with, especially with Buckingham Palace as well.
Mhm.
The view can't be disturbed too much, and I think
Yeah.
Stamford Bridge would be one of them things. So you can't build upwards, you can't
Yeah.
build downwards because you've got the train station either side and below. Technically,
Mhm.
I think what they will do is knock down the hotel, knock down the Stoll building that we've bought,
Yeah.
rotate the stadium, and fit as much as you can in there.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
my fundamental problem is when 60,000 gets too small, then what do you do? Because
Yeah.
then we've maximised what we can with the land, and I just don't want to be held back in 10, 20 years when everyone's got 80,000. Because you look at Emirates can expand if they really wanted to. Old Trafford will expand. The Anfield will expand. I don't know how Tottenham can be of expanding, but I think 60,000 is probably their limit anyway. These clubs can expand their stadiums. Chelsea
Can't.
don't think can. I think 60,000 is pushing the limit from what I've heard it is. But
unless we like kind of get a like we like ask and search for like an approval that we can build a little bit upwards and stuff like that, maybe then we can.
it's just so hard. What you met with that, especially with the Buckingham Palace, you're messing with ancient laws that.
Yeah.
I don't think
know.
Hardly people can't touch that.
Yeah.
It's hard to touch it. I think the only other way you get more is if you start trying to buy actual people's residential properties, which again is very, very difficult to try and do, especially because if they know you want their property, they are just going to say no until the right price is there, and they will fleece Chelsea Football Club as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, that's true. So that's also a good thing either. Nah, so it will be an interesting thing to see what they do with Stamford Bridge, but that will happen in years, so we don't have to worry about that at the moment.
I just hope that pitch owners stop holding this club by ransom. But it is what it is. I mean, I am considering myself actually potentially getting a pitch owner share, so then people can stop moaning about me, moaning about it, because I'll be like, well, I am a pitch owner and I'm moaning about the thing from the inside.
Smart.
I'll destroy it from the inside. I'm coming for you, pitch owners. But
get an inside job. Smart. But well, it was a good game. But maybe go a little bit back to the game. It was a good game. Of course, sucks to draw, but we played well, in my opinion. We played pretty well from seeing what we saw against Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I think we overall I think we played pretty well and probably one of our best away performances this season. Even though we didn't get the win. And I think if we can take that into the cup final, as I said, I think we do get a result. I think Liverpool, apart from the 4-1, Liverpool games have always been traditionally very close. Kind of like Man City games, to be fair. Man City, we always do seem, apart from I think you had the 6-0 at one time, it was just crazy.
It was that. Sorry.
But most of the time, it is very close games. Either 1-0 nicks for Chelsea, 1-0 nicks for City.
I swear they like beat us 6 in February, and then we played in the League Cup, and we didn't we go to penalties?
Yeah, it was the one. That was when we
went
to
Kepa.
Kepa did Kepa.
Yeah,
but it is what it is. Before we go, we'll finish off in a minute because I do have to go.
I need to go. I need to go and eat dinner as well. Yeah.
How would you what would you start in terms of Liverpool cup final, and what was your prediction?
Petrovic, I think, of course, Sanchez was okay, decent, not good, not bad when he played. I just think Petrovic has just solidified himself. He's so much more calm. I feel so much calmer on the ball.
Today he was a little bit shaky at times. There was a few things that I was like, oh,
yeah. I completely agree. But we played Sanchez last time we played City, didn't we? In the autumn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so of course could have been a little bit nervous about the game, knowing who he faced against in Holland. Of course, terrifying figure to face
Yeah,
against.
to be fair, I think apparently it's a personal issue. So whatever Sanchez is dealing with, I hope that he's all okay.
Yeah, no, but so I would start Petrovic first choice. He's got the fans on his side and he's doing well. And I only think he has conceded goals that is screamers or really good goals. He hasn't conceded like a bad goal, in my opinion, or from what I can remember. Right back Gusto. I think he can cause some problems, and I think he can also keep up with Luis Diaz and the Liverpool attackers. Centre backs Disasi and Colwell. Of course, Colwell had his best game, but Yashil is still injured. Thiago Silva, I don't know how he's going with his fitness, but he is quick, and we need pace against a Liverpool attack. Chilwell, captain at the moment in left back. Midfield three of Gallagher, Casado, and Enzo. Like we have four midfielders. We need to play the three we have that are doing well. At right wing, Palmer, or right midfield, Palmer. Left mid, Jackson. Sterling or Nkunku. I think maybe Sterling, and we can do what we did. Or maybe Nkunku, and Nkunku can play like that left, and they can switch. Jackson and Nkunku can switch it up and cause Liverpool problems that way. So yeah, that's my lineup. What about yours, Matt? How would you line it up against Liverpool next weekend?
So I would go Petrovic in goal, Chilwell, Colwell, Sassy, Gusto, Enzo, Caicedo, and Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Palmer, Sterling, reluctantly, and Jackson.
We're debating Mudryk.
I was actually more debating Madueke, but it's just I didn't know. I didn't really want to stick Palmer. I mean, you could put in Jackson off the left and Cuckoo up top, Palmer middle, and Madueke right,
or Nkunku on the left. He has played a lot on the left wing for Leipzig.
I do think I know Sadiq said, "Oh, Jackson plays off the." I do think when Nkunku and Jackson are together up top, they do swap. There is no one. They don't just sit in the same position the whole time.
They switch it up
for the semantics of what the lineup says on the sheet. We'll put Jackson left, but score prediction for the final, early prediction.
I think actually I can see a 2-0. Of course, this is biased and optimistic. 2-0 Chelsea or 2-1. I think Salah can put one, and maybe Jackson and Nkunku or Palmer get the penalty.
I'm going to go with something a bit more squeaky bum time. I'm going to go 1-1 in normal time, and then 2-1 Chelsea after extra time.
I thought we were going to go into penalties again.
No, I do not. I forbid it. I will not watch if it goes to penalties against Liverpool again.
Hey, we have Petrovic and goals of Kepa.
I don't care. Please no. For the sake of my heart, no. I'm just expecting a Caicedo P roll across the floor, past Kelleher or whoever the second choice now. Through the legs of Connor Bradley, just to make it.
Do you mean kind of
through the legs of McAllister, just to make that Brighton connection?
Do you mean kind of like the Conte goal? I guess was it Tottenham, where it goes through the legs of three people and the keeper.
Lavia now he's back in training. He seems to be okay-ish. He goes sprinting down the Wembley touchline.
He will not be back until March.
Absolutely goes mental in front of the Liverpool fans. His knee slides his way in front of
Adebayor.
Yes, that would be dream scenario.
Lavia and Caicedo both do that at the same time
with a little banner saying, "We chose Chelsea, not you."
Yeah.
But big up to Liverpool for getting to the final, and we'll
Yeah.
see what happens. So we will end it there because
Mhm.
it has been a long day and it was a long game.
Yeah.
And, I have another
A
thing that I
nervous
need
game.
to-
Nervous game.
Yes. But we will be back. At least minimum will be a match reaction for the final. If
Yeah.
me and Sindra and maybe one more can organize it, we might potentially do a cheeky watch along. But
I'm down
tuned.
for that.
Yeah, stay tuned for it. I don't know whether we'll do a preview. Depends if we get
Yeah.
time. We'll see.
Yeah, like I have like vacation.
now I know.
from school.
Now we've actually got our hands and fingers on the channel. We can actually sort this out.
Indeed, we have the keys.
We have the keys. We'll drive the car off the cliff. No, we're all good. Sadiq was big up to my thumbnail, by the way. Even though I had to change it last minute. Screw City for scoring, but I had a great thumbnail.
Yeah.
All in. But big up to everyone that has watched today.
Mhm.
Make sure you all smash the like button. Subscribe to WorldWideChels. We'll
Yeah.
see you at some point next week.
And
Matt, this is Sindra signing out.
and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when we if we do a live stream as well.
Can always rely on Sindra for saying that. Big up to everyone.
Take care.